All right, sports fans, how's everybody out there doing? William Martin coming at you one more time here on YouTube with another edition of the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge Podcast. Now, I can't remember the last time that so many football fans were intrigued to see the professional debut of a fifth round pick, but there were plenty of eyes last night on rookie quarterback Shedeur Sanders as he made his rookie debut for the Cleveland Browns. And in his first start, Sanders looked very sharp for the most part. He was 14 to 23 passing for 138 yards with a pair of touchdowns. It's one of those where it was basically a basic offense for the Browns against a basic defense for the by the Panthers. But for me, the biggest takeaway from this was the poise of Shedeur Sanders in the pocket. And as long as Sanders is going to be able to maintain that poise, it's going to take him a very long way in the National Football League. Sanders had solid pocket presence, as a rookie, and I think it's something where he's been groomed for this position. He played 2 years, as a starting quarterback at Jackson State, and then of course 2 years as the starting quarterback at Colorado. And nonetheless, you look at his performance last night. I think this is going to be something for both he and the Cleveland Browns to be able to build off of. Now, make no mistake about it, Sanders supporters are going to continue to support him while his critics are going to continue to criticize. But at the end of the day, this young man throughout his football career has shown that he has the ability to keep the outside noise exactly there outside. Now, I'll be the first person to say that Sanders should not have been a fifth round pick. Okay. And I said it, during the NFL draft proceedings. And I also said that once he did get drafted in round number 5 by the Cleveland Browns, it just comes down to somebody drafted you, somebody gave you an opportunity, whether you're a late round pick or whether you're an undrafted free agent. You got an opportunity, go out there and make the most of it. And I think Sanders, you know, maybe it humbled him, that, and I'm saying it from the standpoint that some people out there wanted to see Shedeur be humbled. But I think at the end of the day, he's come in, he's been focused, he's going out there and taking care of his business on the field. His teammates, have nothing but positive things to say about him. And I think it showed in the game. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not here to say, what, one game is going to go out there and make you a Hall of Famer. Absolutely not. But the thing is, the bottom line is, hey, this was a big opportunity for him last night. He made the most of it. And I think it's a great opportunity, like I said before, for both he and the Cleveland Browns to be able to build off of this. A lot of positives that you could take out of this game if you're the Browns and you're Shedeur Sanders with his performance last night. And again, the thing I cannot harp on the most was his poise. And I truly do think that the Cleveland Browns should give Shedeur Sanders a long and hard look at quarterback. I know right now that the Browns currently have 5 quarterbacks on their roster. They drafted Dylan Gabriel in the third round this year out of Oregon. They also brought in Tyler Huntley. You've got the former first round pick of the Pittsburgh Steelers and Kenny Pickett, and then of course you have the former Baltimore Ravens quarterback, Super Bowl winning quarterback on your roster, and Joe Flacco. Make no mistake about it, Joe Flacco is not the future. We know that, and Joe Flacco knows that as well. But I would think for a franchise like the Cleveland Browns, who have had so many different starting quarterbacks since they returned to the National Football League in 1999. At some point, maybe they can go out there and finally figure it out at the most important position on the football field. If you're Shedeur Sanders, just play so good that the Cleveland Browns have no choice but to keep you on that football field. Like I said, last night was a building block for him. Let's see if he can build off of that and continue to progress, in the preseason for the Browns, and of course, ultimately carry it over to the regular season. But again, please forgive me if I'm sounding like a broken record right here, but it was a poise, the calm for the most part. I know that Shedeur did get sacked twice last night by the Carolina defense, but nonetheless, the calmness and the poise. That's something that he had throughout his college career. That's something that, is something that he picked up from his dad, the Hall of Fame cornerback. But nonetheless, I think it was a building block. We saw a lot of Browns jerseys, in Charlotte last night for that game. And say whatever you want, but nonetheless, Shedeur's going to have eyes on him. People are going to be interested to see what he can do. And like I said before, the supporters are going to be there. The critics are also going to watch him as well. But again, building block for him, building block for the Cleveland Browns. So let's see what's next in the young career of Mr. Sanders. But folks, that's going to wrap it up. And as always, I want to take this time out to thank each and every one of you for checking out the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge podcast here on YouTube. And as always, like I always say, if you like what you heard and saw on this podcast, you know what to do. Just hit that like button as well as subscribing to this channel. And like I always say, it's greatly appreciated. Also, if you're on the X, formerly known as Twitter, please feel free to follow me at 300 Pounds of Sports. And like I always say, if you give me that follow, it'll be my pleasure to follow you in return. And the same goes for Instagram, where you can check me out at 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge. Also, if you're on Facebook, you can check us out at the Sports Depot 365. And as far as I'm concerned, one of the better sports debating groups going on social media. But until next time, fine folks, my name is William Martin. I'm signing off, and I'm saying thanks once again for tuning into the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge podcast here on YouTube. Be well, everybody.